What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. We're here today working on the Jacobsen tractor. It's behind me on what could be the last nice-ish day. We're going to be in the mid-40s today, and looking at the forecast, it's going to get colder and stay cold. So hopefully we can get this wrapped up today and ready to use in case we get snow in the near future. So I'm going to turn you around and show you what's been happening. So as you can see, things look a little bit different than the last time you saw the Jacobsen. Obviously the big difference is that I've got the snowblower installed, and I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of how that went. It was pretty quick and simple, so I didn't bother filming it. There wasn't really much to see. I was nervous about what it would take to install and what missing parts I might have, but it was so simple that it bolted right up. So the first thing I did is just drug it in front of the machine and lined it up, and you can see down here there's this flange that bolts right up to the front of the tractor, and it just has some 3/8 16 I think threaded holes. 3 out of 4 I was able to get. One of the holes had a broken bolt in it, so in the future we'll try to get that removed and get the 4th bolt installed, but I think I'm going to be okay with 3 for now. The next thing is it had these 2 arms on the side. Here's one side, and those just slide onto those pins where I'm resting my feet for now. Originally this would have had floorboards, but it doesn't, so that's just kind of your temporary footrest for now. But those support pins slide on there, and I guess if you wanted to, you could add a washer and a hitch pin right in that hole there to keep it on. But I don't see any problem. I don't think it's going to slide off or have any issues. So for now, I'm just going to leave that alone. And I'll show you the other side. Slides right on there. Someone had asked me about my clutch in the comments, and so I'm going to try and show that. I'll go back over to the other side here in a second. Then there's this lift chain that just attaches here to your lift arm. And I've got that set so that it'll go down all the way, and I've still got some slop there to loosen the chain if needed. And then I've got it set to where when you come up, you only need to go about halfway up to have the snowblower off the ground. So I still have 3 or 4 more notches there. I could go up higher if needed. But that's easily adjustable. You can see this bracket with a nut and a washer holding the chain on there. On this side, we have our direction arm. So this turns the chute either direction. And from what I can tell, looking at old diagrams, there would be a bracket coming off of this hole on the dash that would attach to that. And that's how you would pivot the machine. I'm not certain what I'm going to do with that, but if anybody has any ideas for where to attach this arm, for now, I think I'm just going to let it sit here, and then when I need to turn things, I can just turn it and then lay it down on the chain again. It shouldn't be any big deal, but if anyone knows specifically how this arm attaches and where, let me know or send a photo or something. That would be excellent. Back to the other side, we have our tensioner, and I just tried some random lengths of belt. This is a 1/2-inch belt, and at the moment I think it's a 58, 1/2-inch by 58 belt, and that seems to be working pretty well. I do need to make an adjustment to the tensioner because it's a little bit wobbly, and when you're off of the belt it kind of goes crooked and it wants to throw the belt off the pulley. So I'm going to make a little bit of an adjustment there, but you can see the way this works is it's spring tensioned, so then to detension it, you push forward on the arm, and this is another thing, I'm not sure where this is supposed to hook, but it's got this hook on it. So what I've been doing is just hooking it up here on the dash, like so, and that holds the pulley up, and then when you want to engage it, you push forward, and then let it flop down like that. And kind of same thing here. At the moment, I'm just letting this lay here, and almost keeping a hand on it. I'm not sure where this is supposed to go. Maybe there's supposed to be a bracket up here by the battery but if anyone knows on that where this arm hooks, there is another hole here opposite that hole below the dash that I could potentially put a bracket on. The only trouble is it hits the muffler at the moment, so if anybody knows on that, you can let me know as well. That'd be great. Here's that close-up of the clutch, the best I can show. So I've got my clutch pedal, and that has a spring that appears to not be original. They've kind of got a spring hooked back here for a return on the clutch, and then a spring hooked down here. I've just kind of left that alone. Actually, that one's broken. Because I'm not sure exactly where that spring is supposed to go or what the spring is. I could do some looking in a service manual for the part number and then just kind of go based on the length of the spring. But I'm not certain. So that's kind of what that looks like. And then it's got this rod that runs down, and this looks like it's been broken or welded or something. I'm not sure what that bracket is. And that runs back there to the transmission. So if you need to see that more specifically, let me know. I did have one issue with the tires. So I got my new tires installed, and there's a video on that you've probably already seen. And these were tube type tires, and I spent basically half the day cleaning rust off the rims and trying to get them smoothed out, but the rims are pitted so bad that I did end up popping a tube. After about 3 or 4 days of sitting, all of a sudden my one tire on the other side was flat. So all I did is broke that bead and pressed it in and put a tubeless tire stem in. So the only thing left is to give this thing a shot. So let's just disengage the blower. Kind of hook this under there. A couple things I've done is run around with a grease gun and hit all the visible grease zerks I can find. So we're in good shape there. I also lubed up the chain on the snowblower, and I sprayed some WD-40 around the chute to change direction on that. Something else I need to do is lube this up so I can turn that more easily. And I might even put a, I guess you'd say thumb screw or handle so that I can loosen that and turn it, unless it's stiff enough as is just to kind of stay in position. So let's give her a shot here. I do still have a slow crank issue, and I'm going to look at my power and grounds on that just to make sure that we're getting a good connection there, and maybe we can get this to crank over faster. I found kind of a trick on starting it. You want to start it in gear with the brakes on. That way your transmission doesn't start spinning and you're able to get it into gear. So we're going to go, let's start it on low throttle, and let's try no choke. How about that? Just give it a touch of throttle here, gently. Oh, I forgot to mention I do sometimes need to put half choke on when I'm increasing the throttle if it's cold. There we go. Alright. For the purposes of the video, I'm going to leave it in neutral and just start the blower. well, that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I think our next thing with the Jacobsen is basically going to be to use it. We'll have to, of course, get the blower height set because I'm using it on gravel, so I don't want to be throwing rocks everywhere. And we'll also fill up the weight box, or the rock box on the back, to get ourselves some traction in the snow. And then we'll just have to make minor adjustments to see how it performs. But I think at this point I'll wait until spring to start any sort of restoration process. Since it's going to jump right into being used in the snow, I don't want to spruce it up and then put it out to work. So let me know what else you'd like to see on it. And thanks again for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe as always, and I'll see you on the next video.